y. Alright, so we're going to complete the square in each equation below. Write an equation in standard form for the circle. So I'm going to give the center and its radius. So I would take a color and circle my x squared. Is there anything else with an x in it? No. Alright. So we don't have to complete that because we already look like something right there. We already look like the x squared. And then now I would choose a different color. My y squared, that's what we're going to have to complete. Okay? So now we're going to fill out all the y stuff. So sometimes we'll have to complete an x and a y. Sometimes we'll have to do one and not the other. In this case, you don't have to complete the x. So now we do, what number gets divided by 2? So if you're just looking at the y, negative 6. So you're going to take negative 6, divide that by 2, which is negative 3, and now what's negative 3 squared? 9. So we just completed the square for the y. Okay? So now we're going to come back down here and write the x squared is fine, it's all good, plus, how can we rewrite the y so it's completely square? Plus 9 or minus 3? Minus 3. Equals, what's negative 5 plus 9? 4. Okay? So now we're like this. We have either an x squared by itself, or we have the y minus the number squared. So that is our equation. So the center is going to be 0, what? Positive 3 or negative 3? Positive 3. And then the radius, r squared is 4, so the radius is 6. So if you're a color coder, I would color code. You want to make sure you do, you have to chunk things. If you have to chunk the x's, chunk the y's, whatever works for you. Okay? Going out in number 2, I circle all my x's together, so we're going to have to complete that. So I might even, and then we're also going to have to complete the y, because the x squared is not by itself, and the y squared is not by itself. Okay? So I would start with x squared minus 8x plus something. And then when I complete the y, you're going to have y squared plus 2y plus something equals the 8 around the notes are right up on the calculator. So you're going to have, oh no, it's not responding. No. Okay. You're going to have to, if you add something for the x on one side, you also have to add it to the right. Okay? So this is just my outline to get me where I need to. Okay? So let's complete the x. What number, if I'm looking at the x's, what number gets divided by 2? Negative 8. So negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And then what's negative 4 squared? So the 16th goes here. So some of you did not put these like space savers when you were only completing one square. I highly suggest these little space savers here. Okay. And then for the y, what number gets divided by 2? So now just look at the y. What number would we divide? 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 1 squared is 1. So there's my space saver, and I put my 1 there. Now you gotta actually finish the problem. Okay, so we're gonna have an x minus a number or plus a number minus what? 4, because right up here was a negative 4, plus, now complete it for the y, y plus 1, and then it's going to equal whatever 8 plus 16 plus 1 is, which is 25. And then there's our equation. So we now look like x minus a number or x plus a number squared plus y minus a number plus a number squared equals r squared. And now we can tell the center, what would the center be? Okay, and the radius? 5.
Wait, how is it 4 negative? Plus 4 instead of negative 4. So the equation only is negative 2.
Good question, but it's going to be, this should have been probably plus 4 minus up here. Okay? But because this number was the negative 4, that comes down here. Can you grab the note on the calculator part? John, did you have a class? Okay. Alright. So those of you just joining us, welcome. Alright, so coming down, whatever you need to do with your x's. What was I doing? X's in red? So here's an x. Are there any other x's? So do I need to complete the x? Or is it already complete? It's already complete, okay? So now I'm going to have to look at my y's. I'm going to have to complete my y's. So plus y squared plus 4y plus something has to equal 12 plus something. Okay? What number gets divided by 2? So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared. So in my space saver, I put the 4. Do I need to rewrite the x squared as anything else? It gets to stay as x squared. How do I rewrite my y? Y plus 2 equals whatever 12 plus 14 is, 16. So here's my equation. What is my center? And my radius is 4 or 16. Oh no, it's not responding again. It is 4. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with 4, 5, and 6. All of these have nice, pretty radiuses, which means this number that you always set it equal to should be a perfect square. Okay? So this time, the center and a point on a circle is given. Write the equation for the circle. So here is your general equation. It's going to be x plus or minus something. Get your phone to be away. X plus or minus something squared plus y plus or minus something squared equals r squared. So here's my center, and here's a point on the circle. So in the equation of the circle, you need the center. Do we have the center? You need the radius. Do we have the radius? No. So we need the radius. Okay? But they gave us the center, and they gave us a point on the circle. So if we found this right here, we could find the radius. What formula find length. Distance. So now you need to find the distance between those 2 points. Okay? So, if we find the distance between that, we're going to be finding the radius. So find the distance. Negative x, negative 7, minus 2 squared, plus negative 1 minus negative 5 squared, and then you square root that number. Okay, so take a couple seconds to figure out what that number is. I believe it is going to be a decimal, so round it to the nearest 10. Okay? Round that to the nearest 10. Y minus negative 5, which turns into what? Y plus 5 equals r squared. So now you have to do 9.8 squared. And let's round that to the nearest whole number. 96, okay? And there's your equation. Okay? So now we know how to write an equation. We just had to go and find some stuff. We didn't have to complete the square, but there are problems where you will have to complete the square. Okay? Alright, in 30 seconds I'm going to do the next one. Then I'll tell you what your closure is and I'll tell you what your homework is.